Hello, welcome to another installment of Dwayne Allen Guitar Concepts. It's been a little while and I missed you guys, so I wanted to come back and put up another lesson. I was thinking about what I wanted to do this time, and I wanted to do something in the intermediate category. We're going to talk a little bit about blues soloing and some concepts and stuff. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is something that when I teach a lot of students, I actually notice that a lot of them don't quite get this one concept. So I want to talk about this and show you guys a part of a famous solo, and it'll kind of back up what we're talking about. So basically, I want to talk about how you can use kind of like, in this case, two different scales, and how you can kind of jump back and forth between the two and almost mix them together to make like a hybrid scale when you're soloing over a blues. Most people, or a lot of people, when they're playing a blues, let's say you're in the key of A, right? You're soloing, right? They'll just use the minor pentatonic. Right, they'll do all that kind of stuff, and which is really cool, but there's more you can add to it to give you more color and more kind of authenticity, because like when you listen to players like B.B. King and Freddie King, they kind of do more than just the minor pentatonic or the blues scale, okay? So I'm going to turn my amp down a little bit because I'm afraid that it might overdrive a little bit. So let me turn it down a little bit. So anyway, I want to play a part of one of the most famous rock blues solos of all time, Crossroads by Eric Clapton, the live version of Crossroads. I'm not going to teach you the Crossroads solo, but I just want to talk to you about what concepts he's using when he's playing this so that you can think about them and use them in your own solos, okay? So I'm going to show you like little pieces of it and show you what he's doing, and then we'll go from there. So it kind of starts off like this. There's more to it than that, but that's like the first section of the scale, of the solo. So the song is basically a blues in the key of A. And he wrote that killer riff that goes, that kind of a thing, right? So what is he doing? How is he mixing the scales together? Okay, so we're in the key of A blues, and most of you know that when you're in the key of A blues, you can play an A minor pentatonic scale, or an A blues scale. I usually teach my students the blues scales, because like an A minor pentatonic would be this. But I teach my students the blues scales because it's basically the same scale with the extra blue note added in there. Okay, so one of the things that you might want to know if you're going to do this lesson and its concepts is you should try to learn all your different blues scale forms and also learn all of your major pentatonic forms, okay? So what's weird about the blues is that you kind of marry the major key and the minor key of the root together, which is really weird. So in other words, A minor pentatonic is the key of A minor. A major pentatonic is the key of A major. And those keys are not related to each other. It's not like you have a relative major and a minor key, which, look into that if you don't know what that is. But A major and A minor have nothing to do with each other. But what's cool about the blues is it definitely kind of sits somewhere in the middle. There's like that gray line, so differentiating A minor and A major. So that's what makes the blues really cool, but it also definitely confuses some people. I have some students going, well, how do you play an A minor over a blues or A major over blues? Because it has that very gray area in between. Okay, so for instance, the solo starts off with that one lick that goes, right? So what he's doing there is he's playing within the A major pentatonic scale, which is actually this one right here. If you want to learn that, just slow it down and come back to it. So the home note within that one scale is the root, which is the A right here. Right? So he's starting there. Right? And then he kind of continues from there. So he's doing, but he's sliding that note instead. So that's all major pentatonic, A major pentatonic over an A blues, right? Makes sense. The next lick, he stays in the A major pentatonic. Right? That he's using this form right here. So the whole first part of the Crossroads solo is all in a major pentatonic scale. Okay? Then he switches over to the A blues scale, which is the one we did a little while ago. That one, right? So the next lick he goes. Right? That's all in the A blues scale. So it's kind of interesting. He goes from A major pentatonic to A minor pentatonic, which is A blues. Major, minor, back and forth, back and forth. That's what makes the blues so tricky and so cool, because there's like that blurry line, right? So major, minor. Then he adds more to that section, staying in A blues. Right? It's all A blues. There, he's still kind of in the A blues, although he hits that one note that's in the major key. Okay, so he's what he's doing is he's kind of going in and out of major and minor. Okay, people do that all the time in the blues. It's very, very common. Not just Eric Clapton, but you know, Freddie King does that. B.B. King does that. Some guitar players don't do that a lot. Like I noticed Stevie Ray Vaughan, most of the time will stay in the minor pentatonic. So same thing with Albert King. If you guys don't know all these guitar players, you should definitely check them out. These are like the masters of electric blues. But Stevie Ray really comes from Albert King. So Stevie does all this kind of that kind of stuff. That's all minor pentatonic. Where Eric Clapton would normally mix that. So this is something you should think about. So like when you're soloing over a blues, what I tell my students is like pick a position, like we did this position here. Play the minor pentatonic and the major pentatonic. And kind of go in and out. You know, that's what a lot of great blues guitar players do. They'll go in major, they'll go minor, right? So you might go. One of the things that you'll notice is you'll see blues guitar players where they'll go like where the minor pentatonic is 1-4-1-4 in this position. Sometimes they'll do 1-3-1-3. Right? That's from the major pentatonic. And they'll do these double stops. Kind of going back and forth, major and minor, right? That's major pentatonic where I'm kind of stretching a little bit. And then you go back into the blues. going back and forth, major and minor. So that's one thing you guys should work on, is learn all your major pentatonics, learn your minor pentatonics, and you kind of just practice going in and out of each one. It really opens up a lot more colors and sounds. One area that I like to focus on is where I call like the B.B. King area. I'm a huge B.B. King fan, like everybody else. We're going to stay in A for right now. So one of the things that B.B. would do a lot is he likes to do the root on the second string with his first finger, like this. He does that vibrato where you take your thumb away. Right? He'll do that kind of thing. So what he's doing there is he's playing a piece of an A major pentatonic scale. So if you're in the key of A, he's using this form, pinky on the 5th string, and he's doing this. Now, he doesn't even use most of that form, just that one little area, the few notes, right? Right? Now, what he'll do is he'll mix that area with A blues, but he'll do it where you put your 3rd finger on that A root and you put. What he'll do there is he'll play this A blues form. So he's going in between A major pentatonic on this form to this A minor pentatonic, which is A blues. So he's always hanging around that one root, but he's using his 1st finger for the major pentatonic and his 3rd finger for the minor. So he'll go. Going back and forth, back and forth. That's the Albert King, actually, where he hangs So that's what I'm doing. I'm going back and forth, back and forth. And anytime you're doing major pentatonic stuff, you can always do some of those Hendrixy kind of double stops, because that's a big part of him. So. So he'll kind of go. So those are some, concepts that I tell people about when I'm teaching soloing. When you're playing a blues, you're kind of going in and out. Now this is more for when you're doing like a standard 1-4-5 using like dominant 7th chord. So like if we're in the key of A, right? That's when you're pretty much in a major key. Right? There are such thing as a minor blues, okay? So if you're like in a minor key, and that's what's weird about the blues, if you're in a minor key, then you definitely wouldn't want to play a major pentatonic. So that's what's confusing. You just have to let your ears tell you what's right? So if we're doing like, perfect example, B.B. King, Thrill Is Gone, that's a minor blues in the key of B minor. So it's kind of, right? Then it goes to E minor. Doesn't switch that fast. So the G7, F sharp. When you're doing the minor blues, you want to stay in the minor key, minor pentatonic. So like So I'm in the key of B minor pentatonic, and that's when you wouldn't do the. You normally wouldn't do that over a minor pentatonic, so that's when he's doing the third finger version. So I kind of got off topic with the minor blues. So this concept that I'm talking about, when you're mixing the major pentatonic and the minor together in the same key, works better over a blues in a major key. Or that's like a blues when all the chords are dominant 7, A7, D7, E7. You start getting into a minor blues, then you want to stick to the minor pentatonic. That's just a general rule of thumb. You know, you might try it with the majors in there and somehow find some of the notes that work right. And if you know, the number one rule with all music is if it sounds good, it's right. You know, so those are some little concepts to think about when you're soloing over the blues. So what you want to do is make sure you learn all your blues scales, which is the minor pentatonics, and make sure you learn all your major pentatonics and do them in the same area, same position, like we did this one. And kind of superimpose them on top of each other, and you just kind of go in and out. There's certain notes that work better over certain chords than others, but I don't like giving a lot of rules for things like that. I think most of the things that you need to figure out that work for you are things that you just try when you're jamming and soloing. Figure out what you like, what you don't like, and just go with those. You know, that's my rule for a lot of stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. If you enjoyed the lesson, hit the subscribe button, and I can always use more subscribers, and hit like if you like it. You can leave comments or questions there as well. And as always, I always like to point this out every once in a while. If you're interested in private lessons with me, I'm definitely available through FaceTime and Zoom. A lot of these concepts that I teach obviously work better when you're working one-on-one with someone, because I'll jam with my students on a song like this, and they'll try this and they'll try that, and then I'll say, you see how that didn't work and that did work, and that's where the one-on-one thing really can come in handy. So anyway, something to think about if you're interested. Anyway, so thanks for checking out the lesson, and hope to see you next time soon. Have a good one.